tossing around the idea of doing something like that, where it's just very casual, very unedited. I think I would probably call it the unedited ASMR podcast. I don't know. Clearly I've put some thought into it, but anyway, so this will just be more of a podcast type vibe video to catch you guys up on what's been going on in my life. So I am here in Munich right now, and I've been in Munich since October 4th. So let's start back there. How is my experience in Germany been? I will be honest with you guys, it has been really hard for me to settle in. I just want to make sure I was recording my audio. Sometimes I forget. It has been really hard to settle in this time around. And I think that might be because I was expecting it to just feel the same as my other trips. And because the last trip I took was last autumn, and so I was kind of expecting just to feel the same and experience it the same way I did with those other places, and that's not been the case. And I realise now that I'm in a different season of life. I'm a different person than I was last year, and so that's a good thing. Like, you want to always be growing and healing and stuff, so it's been different, and honestly it's been difficult. I feel very strongly that I love to travel and be by myself, but I also really, really love having people around me, and so it's been so cool to meet people here and make friends. I've made actually quite a few friends here, but I'm looking forward to someday having somebody to travel with and not just be by myself. Solo traveling. So the idea, like, I'd love to get married to somebody someday who loves to travel as well, and I just think that's such a fun way. Anyway, so it's been difficult to settle in here a bit, and but I've loved it. I've loved the pace of the city here. It's very fast paced, but it's also like a very German thing apparently is to sit outside, or just to sit on your break from work and have tea and cake, or tea and a croissant, or tea and a pastry. That's a very, very common thing here, and so I have embraced that with my whole heart and done that pretty much every day. Join in, you know, when in Rome, when in Germany. Okay, so let's do some travel stories. So, I arrived in Munich. I flew from Lisbon, Portugal, to Munich, and that was October 4th. because I'm not from here. I'm just visiting for the day. I don't know where anybody is. I don't know where to go. So he was kind of freaking out. So I gave him my phone and let him use my phone to call his girlfriend and his friends and connect with them. But they had lost the other, like her brother. So she went to go look for her brother because he was fine, like he was safe. She knew he was safe. So he and I hung out for like a couple of hours. We got sushi and we just chatted about life, and it was lovely. Yeah, he's a lawyer in Derbyshire or in London, or but that it was just so funny to me to arrive in Germany and be like, I still had my luggage and I was so tired and he was so tired, and so I was like, you know what, I need dinner, let's go get sushi, like we can have the chats while we're eating dinner. So and then his girlfriend came and met up with him, and all was well. So it was all, everything worked out. But that was really, really funny. And you just really never know, like you never know what sort of experiences you're going to have when you solo travel. So it's, yeah, that was funny. I went, so that was Friday that I arrived. I went to Oktoberfest on Saturday, the next day, to just experience it. I did not like it. I don't want to offend any Germans that might be watching this, and it might have been because I was by myself. I didn't have a group of friends. But I did make it inside one of the beer tents, which apparently is not possible on a Saturday. I made it inside of one of the beer tents, but I didn't really find a spot to sit because there were so many people. Everyone was just walking around the outside, like inside the beer tent. There are just these long wooden tables, and typically people reserve a table with, like, you have to have, I think, like 10 people or so. But I did not have, obviously, a table reserved, and so if you don't have a reservation, you have to just squeeze in with people or ask if there's space or something. And I was feeling a little overwhelmed because it was very loud in there, and people were, I think, already very drunk, and there was live music and there was loud chatter, and people walking, waiters and waitresses walking by with 10 beer, like, liter, what's the word, glasses of beer, and it was just overwhelming. So I was not a huge fan of Oktoberfest. It was also raining really hard, and I just kind of wanted to rest from flying and travelling the day before. So my Airbnb is trips. I did that. I went to the Dachau concentration camp, which I still feel like I'm processing that. That's a whole other topic of conversation, and it's really, really fascinating to be here in Germany and to make friends with German people and to just kind of see the way they live. And like, we're all just people. It could have happened to any of us, but it happened here. And you know, we all learn from the past and from things that happen, and it's something I've always learned about, and it was really fascinating to see, and sad and somber to see, to step in the places where people were. And I feel like that was a roller coaster of a subject change. I went to Salzburg, I went to Dachau concentration camp. But yeah, so I've seen really cool things outside of Munich, but I've not really been in the mood. I wanted to go to Switzerland, I wanted to go to another city in Austria, but I've not really been in the mood to do long travel days. I've more so been in the mood to watercolour. I've done a lot of watercolouring while I've been here. Go for walks in the English garden, explore Munich, sit and just drink coffee at a cafe and read. So I've been more in the mood for those things as opposed to day trips and long travel days and stuff, even though there's beautiful things to see outside of Munich. So I've made friends. I'm very, very, very grateful to God for placing people in my path, because I told you guys settling in here has been a bit difficult, and I think part of that is I just feel a little bit more lonely than normal, and there's reasons for that, and so I was trying to just kind of like muscle through it, like it's fine, I'm just gonna ignore that, or just not really give in to that. And then I love when God like sees that and he puts people in your path, like he's healing that part of me, and he also has put people in my path this trip that have been so incredible. While I've been in Munich, I've been going to, I don't know if any of that explanation made sense. I was just thinking through what I just said. Basically, I've been struggling this time around, this trip, with feeling more alone and wanting like companionship and people around me, and just feeling kind of like unseen. And the Lord has stepped in and provided quality relationships, friendships with people here, which I am so grateful and blessed. Okay, so while I've been here, I've been going to Hillsong, which is a church, and I went on the first Sunday here to a worship night, and then I've been going back every Sunday. And this past Sunday I met a girl on the way there. We were both walking the same direction for a long time, so I finally just asked her, I was like, are you going to Hillsong? And she said, oh yes, do you want to walk together? And we walked together and talked for a while, and then sat together during church, and then ended up hanging out that night at her apartment, because she was her apartment is like right across the street from mine, so we are quite literally neighbours. And so I went over to her apartment and she made us sandwiches, and we just sat and chatted for a while about life, and that was very life-giving to me. And so I made a good friend friend I made, I was sitting on the bus heading home, and there was a girl sitting next to me reading a book, and usually I just notice and appreciate people who are reading books as opposed to on their phones. And so I just kind of looked over to see what book she was reading, and it was the Bible. And so I tapped her and I was like, I love that you're reading the Bible. She was my age as well. I tapped her and I was like, I love that you're reading the Bible. Like, it's so heartwarming to see. And so we started talking, and she's from Germany, and so we talked about that, and then we got coffee together, and so it's been incredible to have people to talk to and meet up with and go for walks with and grab ice cream and watch movies, and like, I really needed that, and I didn't know that I would need that, but the Lord knew I would need that, so I'm very, 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 very grateful. I wanted to tell you guys this. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I just have so much on my mind. I wanted to tell you guys this story because it makes me laugh so hard. I just love that you never know what's going to happen. Okay, so I had not this entire trip gone out at night and had beer or anything like that, because I'm not really like, I just didn't really want to this time around. But I decided, I had a lot of energy one night, and I was like, you know what, I'll go to the, oh gosh, I'm going to say this wrong, Hofbrauhaus, something like that. It's the oldest inn or pub in Germany, I think. It's very old, it's like the 1500s. And so I was like, you know what, I'll go there. I know they're gonna play some live music. I'll get a beer, I'll try some of the beer. I'll sit and I'll just listen to music and be out for a little while. So the way it works there is very similar to Oktoberfest, where it's just long tables, and you just basically ask people if you can sit with them, if there's space for you. So I sat at a table with a big group of people, and a few minutes after I sat down, the people got up and left, so I was sitting by myself. These two young guys walk in, and they asked if they could sit at my table, and I said, of course. And so they sat down, and they were talking in another language, and you know, I didn't know it, so we're just kind of chilling, listening to the music and stuff. And then a little while later we started talking, the three of us, and they're from Spain, like they were super nice. And then they asked, you know, what I was doing in Germany, and I told them I was solo traveling. And so they asked like what my plans were for the rest of my time in Munich, and I said, oh, I'm going to a concert tomorrow. I'll be going to a concert tomorrow, like a classical music concert at the residence. And they both were like, wait, because one of the guys, I don't want to spoil it, one of the guys was in the concert from the Pro House was there, and we got a picture together and we got to catch up for a bit afterwards, and it was so funny. You literally never know. You never know. And it's really funny because you never know what people do or what they're going through, or it's something that I learn over and over again whenever I solo travel, that you just never know. And it's one of the best things in the world to just feel like every encounter with other people is a surprise, and you have no idea what you're gonna learn about them, or what they do, or what their life is like. I think that's my favourite part of solo travelling, truly, 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 is meeting people from other parts of the world and that do completely different things than I do, and hearing their story and hearing what they love and what they hate, and what their culture is like, or what their family is like, or what their jobs are like. It is fascinating to me, and as you can tell, it makes me very excited just talking about it, because I just love people, and I just love like people from other places, and just hearing the differences in our lives, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's probably one of my favourites from this trip so far, was having these random guys sit down next to me, and then they're from these orchestras, and I already had tickets. That was the thing, was I already had tickets months in advance. Like when I was planning this trip, I bought these concert tickets to go to this orchestra concert, and then, you know, lo and behold, of course, the guy sits next to me that's in. It might not be that crazy to you guys, but that's pretty crazy to me. That's so funny. But yeah, that's one of my favourite stories from the trip so far. I have my little travel journal with me that I'll show you guys the progress so far, if she will focus. So we're about a third of the way through the sketchbook, and I'm hoping that it doesn't break, because this is not like super great quality. I literally just bought a square sketchbook off of Amazon, just because this time around I loved the travel journal that I had in Ireland, but towards the end it was very what's the word, like it was just a lot towards the end to keep up with, and I wanted something I could just put my scraps and my receipts and just random things in here, not worry about how it looks and the aesthetics and stuff. And so it's more of like a junk journal. It's not necessarily like I've written all the stories and all the things and all the important stuff I've written down, but it's more so just, I'll show you guys a page. Oh, there we go, that way. It's more so just scraps of paper and random things. I'll show you this. This was something I sketched. Oh, I don't know if you can, it's sideways I guess. But I've been sketching as well, and like drawing and stuff. I am not an artist, but I enjoy it. So I have my little travel journal, which I've been enjoying just putting stuff into. I've been sending out postcards. Little side note, if you have any interest in joining my Patreon, I've been sending postcards to all of my patrons that have requested one, a handwritten little postcard from my travels. It's so fun because I love to send mail, and so it's like the perfect way to get to know you guys and also send mail and be old fashioned. Okay, let's see what else So I've not been super impressed with the German food. I love doner kebabs, but I've been told that those aren't even German, that's Turkish. So I've not been super impressed. I will say I do love the actual sausage, like the podfast. I love the taste of it is so good and it's very tender. But I'm not a huge big bread roll and sausage person in the middle of the day type of girl. So maybe I just haven't had good authentic food yet. I remember in Dublin, it's the same. It's kind of like in the big cities, you aren't going to get as good quality food as you will in the little towns. In the little towns you will get, this is my experience, much better quality food, and it's more authentic and it's more, I guess, quality. So not super impressed with the food so far, you guys. There have been a couple of gems for sure, but just in general, I've been making most of my meals at my Airbnb, which is good to save money as well. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of any other good stories I can tell you guys. One of the things I have loved is just going for long walks, because I love the autumn weather. I love the leaves changing. I love the chill in the air. I love sweaters and jeans and boots and scarves, and so I have really this time around just been enjoying taking my little watercolour set and going for a really long walk just through the streets and up and down beautiful alleyways, and just sitting somewhere and doing a quick little watercolour or a sketch of the place I'm in or what I see. And that's been one of my favourite things, honestly. Like, when I think about my favourite days, they've just been slow days of doing that. So getting coffee, getting a chai latte, so good. But yeah, guys, I don't know what else to update you on. If you have any interest, you can join my Patreon for free and see my travel pictures. I do have those for free. My ASMR videos aren't, but my travel pictures are. If you have any interest in seeing those, I have the camera that I'm using to film this is also the camera that I use to take pictures, and so I've been taking my camera with me on my walks and taking some beautiful fall leaf pictures. The leaves are just changing so much and it's absolutely stunning. Like, I just love being here, and I am a really big fan of Gilmore Girls in the fall, in the autumn. If you haven't seen Gilmore Girls and you need a cozy autumn show, that's your show. It's the best. So I have my playlist, my Gilmore Girls playlist, and I just pop it in my ears and go for a walk and feel like I'm in the show. So it's the little things, right? But anyway, yeah, so this video has just really been quite a ramble. I just want to share some stories with you guys and let you know how it's been going. So